Now at HawkAuto.com, drive home a brand new 2016 Chevy Malibu for just $99 a month. Drive what I drive. Drive a Hawk.
HawkAuto.com. Let's go Hawks.
We're not hitting the ball hard. They've pitched well. Obviously, I have no solid explanation. We just got to keep working at it. We're just not hitting the ball well. We were doing the same kind of routines. The work's the same. The batting practice is the same, or the lack of it's the same. We're just not getting the results right. There's really no excuse. We just have to obviously pick it up quickly. Yes,
and again,
sir.
in the back to the right.
Joe, you referenced in the pregame what happened against the Mets last year, where it kind of like started going downhill and you couldn't stop it. Is it harder to stop a negative trend in the postseason like bad offense? And if so, do you have any other things to do besides shake up your lineup like you did today?
It could be possibly. It just depends on the pitching. I mean, he'll pitch well again today. We're going to see a young guy tomorrow. Obviously, it's more of a mental trend than it is a physical trend. You got to be able to push back mentally as much as anything right now, and because when it comes down to work, you don't need any more batting practice or any more video study or data information. You just have to mentally just hang in there, man, and keep pushing back till you get it. It's just about hard contact. The at-bats haven't been bad. We're just not hitting the balls. We're not striking it well. And so we're making it easy on their defense. But it's more of a mental exercise than it is a physical one right now for me.
And in the center right.
Hey, Joe, after that San Francisco series, you said you didn't think it'd be any different. It'd still be a grind. You didn't think you'd pummel the ball.
Right.
You just wanted your guys to work good at bats.
Right.
Based off that, how happy are you?
Well, we were working the at-bats. Obviously, we're looking for more results. We did attempt to shake it up a little bit today and obviously didn't play very well. But, listen, I got a lot of faith in our guys. It's a difficult moment to be in, to come back out here on the first game here. 2 more left before we get to go home. And you have to fight through some pretty stringent adversity. But that's how this thing works sometimes. And, again, from my perspective, there's nothing differently to do except to really come out tomorrow with the right mental attitude, and that's our best weapon, I think.
And to the right in the back.
Joe, you mentioned that adversity. You spent, I think, 1 day out of first place the whole season. Even in the first round, when you had adversity, you had already won the first 2 games.
Right.
Is this as big a test as your team is now, going to face, and how do you keep them from getting too, pressing too hard about it?
Well, it's just, again, it's conversational. They're going to react how I'm going to react. I've always believed that. I've always thought, for me, regardless of the situation, that I have to be consistent when I walk into the room. They have to see consistency from me, which hopefully they're going to be able to do. But beyond that, man, like I said, there's not a whole lot to do except come out and play again. Tomorrow, I believe we're going to be ready to play. We do need to make better contact. We're going to have to pitch well also. They're going to throw that same left-handed laden lineup against us, and so we're going to have to do well with that. But more than anything, I think we need to just get a couple runs or hits and runs early to try to get that kind of feeling back, because obviously when you're not scoring any runs, it makes it even more difficult in the dugout.
And again to the right.
Yes, sir.
Joe, speaking of the mental part, in that 8th inning there, 6-0, Jack Peterson steals third, and then Baez kind of fumbles the ball, doesn't go home. I mean, it looked like a team that was kind of shell-shocked at that point. What did you see in that inning? And then secondly, was there any issue with them stealing third base up 6-0?
Not at all. The object of the game is to score runs, and from that perspective, ours is to prevent runs. No, I have no problem with any of that kind of stuff. What really broke down there was the stealing of third. We just need to pay better attention to him right there. But also, I don't know if that was a hit and run or if that was just a straight steal with Puig, and the ball ends up in the left field corner. Again, an unlikely situation. I just look at it from a matchup perspective. I like Montgomery in that moment, and it just did not want to play out for us. But not necessarily shell-shocked. It's just that they're in an aggressive state right there. They have everything going in their way, and that's kind of a tough hop for Javi. If he makes it clean, he's probably out at the plate, and then it looks a little bit better for us. But overall, I've never had a problem with teams trying to attack on or add on runs. I've never really understood that, where they're trying to embarrass us. It's our objective is to stop them, and of course we're trying to score runs. So I have no problem with any of that.
And right there in the middle.
When you face Hill for the first time, and he's a 2-pitch guy, where you're trying to take one of the pitches away, and also Rizzo had a really good at bat in the second.
Right.
Got the walk. I'm sure you were hoping that would bring him and everybody else out of it at that point, right?
Yeah, the thing about, you're right about Hill, 2 pitches, but he does different things in regards to changing speeds. You saw the kind of like sidearm elevated fastball also that he's trying to do. We just could not generate. But you're right. I mean, Riz needs to accept his walks like he did, and you'd like to believe that's going to get him rolling in the right direction. But we just couldn't. We're not. The last 2 games we've not been on the barrel of the bat at all. It's pretty much been weaker contact. We got to get back to making the hard contact. We normally hit some home runs. We draw some walks. We will strike out. We're just not hitting the ball hard like we normally do.
And in the back left?
Joe,
yes, sir.
Jake's performance giving up those home runs. Could you discuss that?
Yeah, I thought he was in good shape. They got the 1 run with 2 outs and a base hit by Seager. That's okay. The pitch to Grandal probably looked decent on a monitor or whatever. And, of course, Grandal's not been really hitting the ball well, but then he grabs one right there. I thought Jake, at the point, I thought he was throwing the ball well. I really did. That kind of surprised him and us, I think, at that particular juncture. There was, even if you walked him right there with Tolles coming up, there was 2 outs, still a base open. I would have walked Tolles right there and had pitched to Hill with the bases loaded, even though it was 1st and 3rd. That was what I was going to do. So I was really anticipating even possibly a walk, and that was going to be okay. I did not see that home run coming right there.
And in the back
Yes,
to
sir.
the right?
There's a lot of talk here about what you guys are not doing, but how much of it is that and how much of it is the Dodger pitching?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of both. I think you got to give their pitching credit. We did well the first night, and then Kershaw pitched. Kershaw happened, and that happens to a lot of folks. So tonight we were expecting or hoping to do a little bit better than we did. So you got to give them credit. And of course, their closer's been outstanding. You don't want to have to be trailing after 7+ innings or 8 innings right now against this group, the way that guy's thrown. But yeah, it's a combination of both. We just not have been swinging the bat that well, and they've been pitching well. And listen, we've lost 2 out of 3. There's time left. We'll come back and play the game again tomorrow, but we do have to do better at the plate. There's no question.
Whoops, sorry, back left, Jason.
Yes.
Joe, Mark referenced this in his question earlier. You spent 1 day out of first place the whole year. You've never really been in a situation quite like this. Is this kind of a moment of truth for your team this year?
I'm so bad at drawing kind of lines in the sand and things. Again, for me, it's about putting this one in a wastebasket, come back and play tomorrow. It's 1 day at a time. I've preached it all season long. We have a very good pitcher pitching tomorrow, so do they. We're able to win that game tomorrow. The narrative's going to change entirely. So I can't get so dramatic about it. I just want our guys to come out and play our game tomorrow, and again be a little bit more offensive, and hopefully pitch like we normally do and catch the ball. But it's obvious we just have to hit the ball better, and we haven't done that.
And is there a last one for Joe? Nope. All right, we'll let him get back.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, so there's Joe Madden, and I mean, there's not a lot to say except you got to wake your bats up, man. If your bats don't wake up, it's going to be a really long winter.
Well, right, that's the simple answer to it. But, Joe, I thought he kind of answered around, obviously the stolen base thing there that you saw. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the offense was not good in this game, and they haven't been in this series. But that wasn't a Cubs game either. The Cubs didn't, that wasn't the defensive team that we've seen all postseason long. There was a ball that was booted, I don't want to say it was booted. Javi bobbled it, play at the plate, comes up short on the relay throw there. We had an errant high throw there. I mean, that's, a few of these things need to be cleaned up. I mean, I know part of me just wants to tomorrow needs to be that kind of game where this isn't, let's stop talking about our offensive approach. Let's stop thinking so much. Let's go out there and get angry and go out there and win a baseball game. Let's play hard. Let's just, lay it out there on the line. Let's stop thinking so much and get dirty, if you will. I mean, to me, that's what I think this team needs more than anything. I'm not going to sit here and overanalyze everything else that's going on because the bottom line is you got whooped tonight.
All right, let's go back to Los Angeles. Cubs Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg joins us now from Chavez Ravine Dodger Stadium. Rhino, that was really a pathetic game to watch tonight. You're out there. What was your takeaway from this game? Because they were bad in every single aspect of the game tonight.
Yes, it wasn't the typical Cubs team that we've seen all year in a lot of phases of the game. I wonder if they start thinking about the offense too much and thinking about that. They had prime opportunity to get their ace, Arrieta, a lead in the second inning, second and third, and 1 out. We're not able to do that. I think that was a big feather in the hat of the Dodgers, keeping that drought going with the Cubs scoring, and it looked like it just seemed to linger off after that. When the offense cannot create excitement on the team, sometimes that goes out on the field, and it was not the normal Cubs team that we've seen this year.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Rhino. We were talking about the stolen bases. We were talking about the missed cutoff. I mean, there were other things in this ball game that just didn't feel Cub-like when you kind of break this one down. Most of us are going to continue to talk about the offense. Rhino, I want to ask you, what do they do different in the next 24 hours? Whether it's a mindset, a focus, but things obviously have to change. In your opinion, what do they need to do in the next 24 hours to get this right?
Yeah, you know what, Holly, I think you said it earlier. They got to go out tomorrow and really get back to business as usual and set the tone early in the game that it's going to be their game. Each individual has to step it up a notch and not let the offensive woes. Let's drop that and get up there and swing the bats, see some pitches to hit, get some guys on base, and create some excitement in the dugout. Yeah, that was it was the deadest dugout that I've seen all year long. The Cubs dugout, there was nothing to cheer for. So they gotta wake up and they gotta come out and create some atmosphere, and that is with the bats.
Rhino, do you juggle the lineup significantly tomorrow? Do you go back to just the lineup that you played all the time when you won 103 games? And even though Russell's struggling, have him there and have Rizzo back in the 3. What do you do with this lineup? Do you bench some guys?
Well, you know what? I think it's the same guys. You go with the same guys that are struggling, and it's time for them to turn it around. Sometimes when a guy is in a slump and they're due, they can break out as a group and as a lineup. So I think it's time for those guys. We're going to need left-handed bats in there, so that's basically the normal lineup that we go with. But guys have got to just chip away, do their job, create some excitement, and swing the bats. And like Holly said, get a little bit mad out there.
Yeah, Holly said they need like a dirty game. Just go out and quit playing so passively like they did tonight. But that's obviously easier said than done. Isn't it an advantage, though, that you're facing a 20-year-old major leaguer who has no experience pitching in this type of a pressure situation? Because tonight, Rich Hill was really, really good.
It could be, but you know what? The Dodger Stadium was electric. The Dodgers have the fans on their side. They created some excitement with home runs, running the bases, stealing third, scoring runs, and the Cubs have got to stop that momentum early in the game tomorrow, and that's once again by shutting them down on the defensive side of things. Play a good pitched, well-pitched game by Lackey, play some defense, get some runs on the board, and hopefully get some crooked numbers up there on the board to really loosen up the bats.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Rhino. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world, and I really do think that's the way to get this going. Just kind of reviewing tonight's ball game, you saw Jake Arrieta. I know this really hasn't been the conversation because the offense has been so bad. How did you feel Jake pitched tonight?
You know what? Early on, he looked like the normal Jake. It's got to be a little bit demoralizing to not get some runs early on and put some pressure on their hitters. As it turns out, like I said, early on we stranded some runners in key situations, second and third, 1 out. Could not give Jake and let him pitch with a lead. They come back in the third and put a run up there, and then it looked like Hill even got better after that, because now, once again, the pressure is back on the Cubs bats to come back because they're trailing. So that's why those early runs are so important. And there's numbers out there that says when the first team scores first, how often that team actually wins the game. So that's, for me, that's the recipe to loosen up the group. Get the guys high-fiving in the dugout like they have all year, create some excitement, and get those guys up at the plate, swinging the bats.
Rhino, last one for you. John Lackey goes to the post tomorrow. This is a 37-year-old veteran major league pitcher who was signed for moments like this. Is he one of the perfect guys to be able to put in this tough pressure situation?
I believe he is, because he is that bulldog type of a guy, and he's going to be out there giving it all that he has. He always does, and he shows everything on his sleeve. So if anybody's going to shake up the group, I think him being out there on the mound, battling like he does, I think he's the perfect guy tomorrow. And he's been there before. He's won these types of games, but I think the way that he goes about it and prepares, maybe he'll shake things up and get the guys to get behind him and get some runs up on the board for him and let him pitch.
Rhino, appreciate the knowledge. We will talk with you tomorrow, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rhino.
All right, there you go, Ryan Sandberg. All right, UPS Store taking care of business, player of the game. There's really no other way to go here. Tip your cap. Ex-Cub Rich Hill was phenomenal tonight.
Well, he was after the Cubs let him off the hook. Let's be honest. That second inning, I felt like there was some real opportunity there to get something going. And I absolutely, as I said to you in about the fifth inning, if we would have done damage, if we could have got some runs across there in the second inning as he was laboring, we watched his pitch count climb all the way into the 40s in the second inning, 5 hitters into the game. If we could have done something there, then I think we would have been in a position to blow this thing wide open. He was really struggling with his command, missing on close pitches, but Cubs were pretty disciplined. And, you know, it's unfortunate that it ends up going this way. This is the at-bat right here that probably becomes key. I know it's a 2-2 pitch, but then you're going to get the strikeout right here, and you're ultimately not going to get any runs across. So I think it could have gone different. You're absolutely right. He settled in, and he became the Rich Hill that I described in the pregame show. Multiple curveballs, multiple arm angles, changing speeds, changing pitches, and pitching backwards an awful lot. Solid 6 innings from Rich Hill, only the couple hits to Chris Bryant, and that's it.
All right, let's go back to Chavez Ravine. Here's Jake Arrieta.
Well, I mean, the 3-2 to Grandal was a good pitch. You know, it was challenging him in that situation. It was a ball down, and he put a good swing on it. You know, I feel like the run, the Reddick run, could have been prevented. It was a PFP. That ball just got on me a little quicker than I anticipated, and wasn't able to make the play there. But you know, it was a grind. They just outplayed us on both sides tonight.
2-1 deficit. What are your overall thoughts as you go forward now?
Well, I like our chances. Anytime you have a ball club like we do, you know, with guys with a lot of postseason experience on the mound and Lackey tomorrow, you know, we feel good about it. You know, nobody wants to be down 2-1, but at the same time, we had a really tough game against Kershaw. He pitched extremely well. Hill was tough on us tonight. You know, and they were really pretty good offensively. You know, they had put up some really good at-bats, hit some good pitches, and did a little bit more than enough to get the win against us tonight.
Is that what conversations have been like about the lack of offense, just that it's been good pitching?
Well, we really haven't had conversations about it. You know, I like our lineup, you know, at all costs, you know, regardless of the circumstances. You know, you put the 9 guys we have with the guys on the bench. You know, like I said, with Lackey on the mound tomorrow, we like our chances, and our lineup's capable of producing, you know, at any moment. So I like our odds.
The pitch to Grandal looked like a good pitch down in the zone. Just
Sure,
went down and got it. Is that how you looked at it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was looking for a fastball there. Obviously, in a 3-2 count, I wanted to challenge him. You know, I felt like I executed pretty well. But sometimes those guys capitalize and, you know, beat you in situations like that. It wasn't ideal from my perspective, but, you know, I'll probably make that pitch, you know, 9 out of 10 times and be okay with it.
Is your thinking any different, you know, as far as knowing that both sides are going against great pitching, not just good pitching, and that one mistake, 2 mistakes makes a difference in a whole series?
Well, it can, but at the same time, you know, we have many guys in our lineup who can produce back to back to back, you know, 4 or 5 guys at a time in one inning to put a crooked number on the board. And, you know, we haven't been able to do that, but, you know, we're very capable.
All right, let's check out the Ameristar Casino Hotel pitching recap. And Jake Arrieta went just over 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned, not his best night. Struck out 5, didn't walk a man through 83 pitches. Rich Hill, a whole lot better. 6 innings, just 2 hits, nary a run, struck out 6, walked a couple, and threw 93 pitches, and he did his job big time.
Yeah, Rich Hill definitely did. For Jake, you know, a couple long balls really did him in. Certainly that's where a lot of the momentum felt like they were attached to, the Grandal home run. Turner jumped him first pitch, and that kind of made it that over-the-hump home run that they got right there to make it 4-0. You know, there are definitely positive things about Arrieta's performance tonight. Certainly some things there. When you don't score, it certainly feels worse. That's what it is. We think the margin becomes 0 for our starting pitching, and that's kind of what I'm getting at tomorrow night. You know, not that you're going to expect, you know, John Lackey to go out tomorrow night and pitch a no-hitter, but go out tomorrow night and be angry like you're going to go out and pitch a no-hitter. And I guess that's the mentality and the mindset that you want to see the Cubs bring out tomorrow. What I saw tonight was, listen, I don't want to say a little going through the motions. I'm not sure that's exactly what was going on, but there was no doubt in my mind they felt what was going on in that building in a negative way because they were not on their game. They weren't playing Cubs baseball that we've seen all season long. So John Lackey's going to have to set the tone tomorrow night.
Absolutely. He has to go out and try and win a baseball game. When we come back, I want to ask you why you pinch hit Jason Hayward when he's obviously struggling. We'll talk about that. Time for a break here. Cubs Postgame Live presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. We'll be right back.
Cubs Postgame Live is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
Make sure he's in bed by 8.
Sometimes I get scared.
Scared of what, Danny?
The things I can't see.
Got a weird feeling. Almost forgot. In case anything happens.
Dad, I got this.
My cardiologist said, I don't want you to come back until you get something done about those teeth. That is the foundation of good heart health.
We're doing amazing transformations, and it's not just a smile. It changes their person's total outlook.
At Clear Choice, we understand that your dental health impacts your total health.
Doing the best for your own personal health is what's important.
Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options. Call Clear Choice today.
I'm Autumn.
I'm Bryant, and we're the owners of Sir and Madam Clothing in Chicago. We opened up our flagship location in Hyde Park.
This is a powerful city. Great things are happening, and we're excited to be a part of that.
For us, greatness is all about loving what you do.
And taking risks to do what you love.
Greatness is within reach. Right now, you can get a great deal on the Civic, KBB.com's overall Best Buy for 2016. From Honda.
Welcome to the Apt Showroom, one of the top appliance retailers in the U.S. Explore our full line of Thermador appliances that will inspire and empower you to imagine design and bring to life your dream kitchen. Our team of product experts will work with you, your builder, and designer from the very first sketch to the very last detail. Discover how Thermador is personalized to the way you cook and bring the ingredients of entertaining to life. Visit us at Apt, pleasing people since 1936.
I guess I will.
All right, shutouts and 4 or fewer hits allowed, consecutive games in a postseason series. The Cubs did the trick in the 1908 World Series.
What did it look like?
I wasn't there. 1919 World Series game 4 and 5 versus the White Sox. The Reds did it, and the Dodgers have turned the trick this year.
You good?
I'm good. I've calmed down now.
It's good, man. There's no reason.
I just want to know what happened to the bats. Did they not pack them?
Absolutely. Listen, there's bad losses everywhere, man. Bad losses show themselves in
United
April.
Airlines, where are the bats? Did you bring the bats?
There's bad losses in spring training. There's bad losses during the regular season. There's bad losses in the playoffs, and tonight was a bad loss. There's no reason to jump ship. I mean, if you're jumping ship, you're silly. I mean, basically, all you're telling me by bailing on your team, Chicago, is that you have in your mind worked up some formula that you think is the only way they win a World Series. Really? I mean, seriously, if they're down a game, they win tomorrow night, is everybody okay? They should be. You know what I mean?
Because you're guaranteed it comes home and you're tied.
But that's my point. With
your ace going the next day.
Let's just be logical about this for a second. I mean, there's just no reason to overreact to.
We're Cub fans. We were bitten by this bug. We have a disease.
I understand
we are
that.
Sick.
I absolutely understand that. But again, getting over the hump, part of getting over the hump is understanding that it's the process that you got to get through. It's not going to be a script of winning just every postseason game. Okay, we don't worry about the wild card. We win the division. We take the DS. We don't lose a game there. We win the championship series. Don't lose a game there. And go on to the World Series and hope the team we play lays down. You think that's how it's going to go?
Right. That's what
it will never go that way. Well, it's not.
They're spoiled. They remember the '85 Bears rolling through everybody. Like, yeah, can we get that?
This is baseball. Wrong game.
Yeah. We're asking if you still believe that your Cubs can win the series. Okay. See us at chicago.com/vote. No special app. You go to your mobile, your tablet, your laptop, and you can cast a vote. You see right now what they're totaling on the screen. We'll keep you updated on those totals. Chris Bryant now in the locker room.
His curveball is so slow that it makes his fastball look a lot harder than it is. It's very deceptive. And it's like he has 3 or 4 different curveballs because he's changing his arm angle a lot. So I don't know. We all knew who he was. He knew he had a really good curveball, and but we didn't really do anything with it.
In a long season, obviously teams have a couple of games lull. Is that how you're looking at this and confident that you can turn it around starting tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no panic here. It's just one of those times where we got beat today. They had good at bats, and we'll come out and win more.
Chris, you said panic. The fact that they pushed one across in 2 games, cause for concern?
Nope. I'm not concerned.
No one said it was going to be easy here. They're very good at home as well. They have momentum now on their side as well. How are you going to break it?
Certainly, it's anytime you're the home team, it's fun to play in front of your crowd. Obviously, I think we play really well at home, so I'm sure they do too. But yeah, there's a lot of factors that go against you when you're on the road, and we all know that. But if we can squeak a couple here, we'll head back home feeling really good.
Chris, sorry if you answered this, but how surprised are you at what's happening to the offense here?
I was saying, if you look at kind of our season and how we got here, it's a little surprising. But yeah, it's the peaks and valleys of this game. They happen all the time, and right now we're in a valley collectively, which isn't ideal, but I've seen it all year long where we pull out of it really quick, and I'm confident we'll do that.
How hard is it to go from?
All right, so you heard from Chris Bryant. He talked about the curveball. You've been in the batter's box in the big leagues. I haven't. None of us watching have. What is it like seeing a 72-mile-an-hour curveball go?
Yeah, it's not easy. Again,
and then handling the fastball in the low 90s.
Well, again, I tried to game plan us out. Even with the TV tonight, tried to show you what you're looking for. Getting him up. It's as simple as that. You really had to work there. I think he does you a favor by starting up in the zone because you get a good look at his arm angle. He's up well over his head. Most guys, their arm slot can be right about where their ear's at or just a little bit higher. He likes to long arm it way up there, get good extension, and drive down through the mound, but you get a good look at his pitch. So for me, it would be just about getting up there. I know he drops down the arm angle and he wants to throw that 2-strike curveball even lower in the zone. I would have just probably game planned up in the zone, and as soon as I see whether the curveball or the fastball up, I would have used the fastball away, and maybe I would have hit the curveball more towards center field, but that would have been my mindset. Elevate and stay inside the ball.
All right. We got to take another timeout. A lot more to do here on Cubs Postseason Live. Everybody relax. Get a good night's sleep.
I'm going to flip this desk over right now.
Lay your head down on a MyPillow and relax. We'll be right back on Cubs Postseason Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
Combining home and auto can save you big. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
When you're on hold, your business is on hold. That's why Comcast Business doesn't leave you there. When you call, a small business expert will answer you in about 30 seconds. No annoying hold music. Just a real person, real fast, whenever you need them. So your business can get back to business. Sounds like my ride's ready.
Don't get stuck on hold. Reach an expert fast. Comcast Business, built for business.
With robotic technology, we can now regrow your natural hair. And I should know, because I had the same procedure done to myself.
The technology is here. The time is now. Fantastic results, flexible payments. Call today.
You know the feeling. The rush of every roll, every flip, sip, feeling. Get it at Ameristar.
Mr. Submarine is open late every night, so no matter when the urge strikes for a tasty sandwich with delicious ingredients on bakery fresh Toronto bread, dive into deliciousness with Mr. Submarine.
Sports Talk Live, presented by Chevy Silverado, weeknights at 6 on CSN.
Hello?
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Are you serious? Not khakis. What are you wearing?
For fastballs, call me. For saving time and money, call State Farm.
You sound hideous.
Time now for our Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, and plumbing. Who's hot and who's not? I can tell you who's not. Who's hot from today's Game 4 of the ALCS, which the Blue Jays won 5-1. Toronto's Edwin Encarnacion 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Who's not? Besides the entire Cubs lineup, Cleveland's Jason Kipnis 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Toronto forces a Game 5 tomorrow afternoon. All right, let's go back to Dodger Stadium. Miguel Montero meeting the media.
I mean, that's the game. I mean, you take momentum. Obviously, you know, it's they play better than we did. That doesn't mean that we don't have momentum. I mean, I think we're pretty good. We can be better. And, you know, they've been throwing the ball good, and we haven't been swinging the bat good. Simple as that.
With that being said, how close do you feel like you are to getting that one big hit that I know can set this team into rolling in the right direction?
I mean, today we had only one chance. And, you know, I had to strike out and then I ground out a second. But we need to get things going a little bit more. We need to get, like I said before, maybe take our walks. Maybe play a little game, you know? Move the runners over. Get your ground ball to second base and get the runner in. A little small ball rather than try to hit homers. And I feel like we all are trying too hard. And that's a different. I mean, like, you know, they did today. They stole second, and then they got a base hit to right field, score a run. You know, they get things going just like that. You don't have to. Solo homers won't kill you. It kills your little rallies, the little things. That's what really kills you.
How hard is it?
All right, time for our Wrigleyville Sports winning box score, and unfortunately, for the second straight game in the series, this one belongs to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Chase Utley did nothing at the top, but Corey Seager picked him up with a 3-for-4 night and an RBI. Justin Turner 1-for-4, solo bomb. Adrian Gonzalez was cold tonight, 0-for-4, but Reddick had a hit, a couple stolen bases. Jock Peterson had a hit. Yasmani Grandal, a 2-run bomb to right center. Andrew Tolles had a knock. Rich Hill did not do anything at the plate, but there was more than enough for a significant win.
Yeah, and part of the fear, I think, even moving forward, not to, you know, I know we're all upset right now about tonight's performance, but, you know, you look at that Dodger team, you know, offensively, we knew going up, my big concern, as I told you before the series ever started, was our starting pitching minus John Lester, all of our righties in a row versus all of their lefties in a row, and they got a lot of them. And you watched Dave Roberts, you know, as soon as you take your starter out, even bring a lefty in, he starts flip-flopping them. I mean, it's almost like he's got role players about at 5 spots on the field. So you have to manage towards that. You almost have to anticipate that. And again, you saw that lineup tonight start out all left-handed. And if you start to wake up a few of these guys, and that's the other thing that I get concerned with. Yasiel Puig goes 2 for 2 in the ballgame. He comes into the ballgame late. He scores a run. He steals a base. I mean, there's like things like that. Josh Reddick, 2 stolen bases. A lot of these guys were cool, like our hitters, and they're starting to find their stroke. Yasmani Grandal, as Jake Arrieta pointed out, wanted to challenge him right there. Part of that challenge was because Yasmani Grandal has struggled all postseason. I believe he only had 2 hits coming into the night. Now he's alive and awake. He gets a big base hit, big home run. He's feeling good about himself. So that's the, you know, kind of how you have to play this thing out. When you talk about momentum, especially in this 3-game set, you know, in Los Angeles, you got to be careful about what what happens in Game 1, and that's the one thing that really set me back more than anything was that some of their bats started to wake up.
No question about it. All right, we'll take another timeout. We'll come back. A lot more to do. We'll ditch back out to LA as well. So stick around. It's our Cubs postseason live, post-game style here on CSN.
Some things are simply impossible to ignore. the strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid, the SUV that dares to go beyond utility. Lease the 2016 NX Turbo with 0 due at signing for $429 a month for 36 months. See your Lexus dealer.
When my hair is too long, I don't feel right. But when I get a cut, I'm me again, only better. My tattoo gets feistier. My crazy eye snaps to attention. I become my own Wi-Fi hotspot.
I just downloaded the entire internet.
And trust falls? They don't even scare me anymore.
That pomade really broke my fall.
Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
We need to send the message that drugs will not be tolerated.
To take down the world's most ruthless cartel.
We're going after Pablo Escobar.
How deep can you go?
You're undercover. Gotta play with them. That's the way you get their trust.
And still get out alive?
One wrong move and we're dead.
I know who you are.
Please now.
The Infiltrator. Movies start at Channel 125.
Everyone at Bill Jacobs works as a team, and they're truly exceptional.
We were absolutely thrilled with their professionalism.
Complete customer satisfaction. It's what we strive for every day at Bill Jacobs BMW. While it may be that shiny ultimate driving machine that brings you through the door, your experience here will make you a customer for life. Bill Jacobs BMW. The cars bring you in, the experience brings you back. Aurora Avenue in Naperville. Get 0% APR for 72 months on select BMW certified courtesy vehicles.
All right, Bob Newhart's tweeting at the Cubs-Dodgers game with grandson William. It's not easy to smile right now. Hashtag Cubs. Lance Briggs is tweeting as well. Let's take a look. I don't know these men on my TV wearing blue uniforms. Hashtag NLCS. Unless we're in blue suits. Maybe he's talking about us. I don't know.
I don't think so, but whatever. You
Anyway.
good? You all right?
I'm good. I'm good. Look, that team was really awful tonight. They were.
It was a bad game.
And we all take it emotionally. We get ticked. Well, but you can't fold up your tent and go, it's over. And that was my point.
And that's what you have to be careful of, because the great joy of the game of baseball, and you learn this as a player, is that it always gives you a way to heal tomorrow. I mean, you're going to get a game in less than 24 hours. So let it go. Get yourself in the right spot. You know, all the Cubs fans at home, get a good night's sleep. You know, work tomorrow, whatever, and get yourself ready for Cubs.
I may have a couple glasses of wine when I get home tonight.
That's on you, buddy.
Yeah, a little Pinot Noir to put me to bed. Here's our Clear Choice Dental Implant Center's play of the game. Sixth inning, Justin Turner leads off bottom of the inning with a home run that drove Jake Arrieta from the ball game. Ball doesn't fly great at night, but it flew enough. They hit it well.
Well, that was auto swing right there. I thought John Smoltz said it perfect. It's exactly what that is. As a hitter, you watch Justin Turner load up right there. He was in swing mode before that ball was ever thrown. He looked to be aggressive on the first pitch. Jake made a mistake out over the plate, looking to get ahead, and Turner jumped all over it. It made it 4-0.
Back to the locker room. Here is Chris Coughlin.
Look, we got to score more runs. I mean, I'd be lying to you if we didn't have to score more runs. I know, I don't want to say concern, that wouldn't be my word, because of the faith that we have in each other and then what we've done all this year. But we definitely have to push more runs across. And again, that's not about how many hits you get. I mean, it's not. I mean, even watching the other series, you watch a lack of hits, and yet there's still 4 or 5 runs. And that's really what it boils down to. How many runs you score, not how many hits you get, not what the batting averages of all the guys hitting. It's how many runs can we score, and we got to score more to win the series.
Are you guys capable of playing small ball, just doing the little things, moving runners over?
Yeah, I mean, I think we do that. I think. Well, I'm not going to say that we're going for the big swing. I just think each game has different opportunities and presents different tasks, and sometimes that's moving them over. Sometimes we bunt, sometimes we don't. A lot of that comes from Joe and decision-making of, you know, what he wants, what the matchups are, who's behind, whoever's bunting. I would say this, our offense is capable of anything.
Each team controlled a lot of games and went 100 free wins. When you don't score, can you ever get control of the game? Can you feel like you're not in control of those games?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you don't score, yeah, you're not in control. You're going to lose. I mean, that's just going to be a fact. I think you know, when we get some runs and push them across, then obviously we get to control the game. And that's what we've done all year. You know, and I think we did that, you know, early in game 1, and, you know, game 2 and game 3 we haven't.
You talked before like the contagious hitting within this team. Do you feel like you guys are close to that one big hit that then snowballs things in the right direction from what you're saying?
Yeah. I think you're always close. I don't think, I mean, I always believe you're close. Whether that's a fact or not, I don't know. But I think that's what you have to think. You have to think that you're just that close. It really just comes down to not pressing. You know, and a lot of that with the lineup. I mean, you have all the media, you have all the questions. That's what comes with the postseason. That's why the postseason is totally different than the regular season. The regular season, everybody, you guys were there. It's like, okay, you know, it's a little funk. You know, you're going to beat them the next game. But in the postseason, everybody gets worried, you know, because you don't have as many to work with. So I think, you know, as a unit, we just got to keep trusting and not press to try to do more, because that's when we're going to get in trouble.
How do you keep that?
All right, there is Chris Coughlin back in the locker room. Boy, he really said something that was unbelievably compelling. We have to score more runs. You think? You've been shut out for 2 straight games, Cogs. I mean,
I have to let that one go for a little bit.
I mean, really? That's the best you got?
Yeah, well, he's right about it. I mean, they got to score more runs.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
As my wife tells me, how many games can you win when you score no runs?
Oh, well,
that'd be 0.
It's the pressure. It's applied pressure. I mean, that's just it. I mean,
don't let the pressure exceed the pleasure.
Well, the applied pressure that not scoring runs has, you saw it play itself out. I think it is interesting because I felt like they started to let up because they weren't scoring, and I felt like that's what this game represented. Not game 2 where Kershaw beat them 1-0. In this ball game, fans at home, I mean, we kind of talked about it already, right? Didn't the tempo of this game and the flow, once the Cubs fell behind, really start to change? Remember the definition of what this team was in September. Joe Madden called it out in August. I need to see my team come back more. I need to see them battle back and win a couple ball games. There were some moments there that, you know, they could have maybe pushed back a little bit more, and they didn't. That's what's got to change.
All right, we've got to take another timeout. We'll come back. Don't forget, we have another ball game tomorrow night, folks. You can even this series at 2 apiece.
You sure?
You can. Beautiful thing about baseball. You've got to score runs to do it. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Apt Showroom, one of the top appliance retailers in the U.S. Explore our full line of Thermador appliances that will inspire and empower you to imagine design and bring to life your dream kitchen. Our team of product experts will work with you, your builder, and designer from the very first sketch to the very last detail. Discover how Thermador is personalized to the way you cook and bring the ingredients of entertaining to life. Visit us at Apt, pleasing people since 1936.
My cardiologist said, I don't want you to come back until you get something done about those teeth. That is the foundation of good heart health.
We're doing amazing transformations, and it's not just a smile. It changes their person's total outlook.
At Clear Choice, we understand that your dental health impacts your total health.
Doing the best for your own personal health is what's important.
Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options. Call Clear Choice today.
In Chicago, some things just go together, like front porches and blue W's, bricks and ivy, Waveland Avenue and souvenirs, Jake and State Farm. Like home and auto insurance with State Farm, they just go together, and they save you time and money. Just another way we're here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
I'm Autumn.
I'm Bryant, and we're the owners of Sir and Madam Clothing in Chicago. We opened up our flagship location in Hyde Park.
This is a powerful city. Great things are happening, and we're excited to be a part of that.
For us, greatness is all about loving what you do.
And taking risks to do what you love.
Greatness is within reach. Right now, you can get a great deal on the Civic, KBB.com's overall Best Buy for 2016. From Honda.
All right, you look at the offense from last year against the Mets, this year against the Dodgers, the numbers are very similar, and you got 4 of those 8 runs on one swing of the bat.
Yeah, you did. You know what? But you've got an opportunity to change the future, so that's what this comes down to for me. Bottom line is the numbers aren't good, but they can get better.
All right, Keys recap. Holly's Keys brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
This isn't gonna take long. Offensive adjustments, that did not happen. Certainly was hoping for a little bit more offensively. I will say Chris Bryant did make some offensive adjustments. I actually liked his approach tonight in the ballgame. Had a couple hits as well. Dexter Fowler, late double. See it high, let it fly. Really talking about how to get after Rich Hill. Kind of broke him down during the pregame show. Yeah, we didn't do enough of that either. Secondary thoughts, Jake Arrieta. I thought this was important. Now, let me say this. I thought Jake Arrieta was actually pretty good in this one. He did get boxed in and had to make a pitch, certainly, and things got a little crazy there on the base paths, as we talked about. But I thought Arrieta mixed his pitch as well, and that was something I was going to keep my eye out for, the slider and the curveball. I thought they were effective. Now, he did, like I said, box himself into a couple fastball counts. They got redirected, meaning hit very hard and turned around. But other than that, I thought they were good spots. Didn't walk anybody. That's always been an issue here in the second half. We've talked about that an awful lot. Most of us thought that if his start was going to break down, it was going to be because he was going to walk guys. He was aggressive tonight. He had all his pitches working. A couple of them made it out over the plate and certainly got hit hard, but that's something he can build off of.
All right, we got to take one more timeout. We'll come right back. This is Cubs Postseason Live on CSN.
You know the feeling. The rush of every roll, every flip, sip, bite, note, and night. You know the feeling. Get it at Ameristar.
My name is Jim Cornelison, and I am the national anthem singer for professional hockey in Chicago. I am in front of millions of people every time I get out on that ice. And the more I've been on camera in the last few years, I noticed, the bald patch coming in. Ultimately, I had to face the truth. I just had less hair up there.
Get your own head of thick, full hair with Restore.
The procedure is quick, it's comfortable, it's pain-free. There's no cutting, there's no stitching, and there's no linear scar. It's my own hair. It's just moved from the back to the front. I was in the morning. I was out in the afternoon.
Comb it, cut it, style it. It's your hair. You're just one call away from looking and feeling more confident.
When I walk out on the ice and I know I'm going to be on that Jumbotron, I feel good about how I look.
Call Restore today for your free consultation and get a $500 gift card. It may be the first step that changes your life forever.
Call 1-800-873-7171 or visit restorehair.com.
All right, time for our poll results. And some people are nervous. Some people are convinced that they can't win. And there are others that are faithful and are going to hang in there at least so far with a 2-1 lead. So there you go. 51% of you say they will not. We had 71,000 votes during our postgame show. It's a lot of votes. 71,000 votes.
Sad numbers. More people should be convinced that this team can battle.
If it was 3-1, I would understand.
Well, right.
But it's 2-1. You can tie the series tomorrow.
Well, I don't play the must-win card until you're in a must-win situation. I mean, the Toronto Blue Jays were in a must-win today, and they found a way to beat the Cleveland Indians, who were unbeatable. So take it where you want. But, the first thing the Cubs have to do tomorrow, you know what it is? Wake up. You know what I mean? Start the day, get back into playing good baseball again.
That's it. Find a way to win a baseball game. John Lackey against Julio Urias. He is a 20-year-old. He's got really good stuff, but he's never pitched in pressure situation like this.
No, he hasn't. And what you're going to see, I guarantee you he's been watching what Clayton Kershaw laid out for him, what Rich Hill laid out for him as well. You think that they're going to start to change the game plan? You think that even if his game plan was a little bit different that he would change it? Absolutely not. You're going to see the very similar mix of pitches from Urias tomorrow. It's how he operates. And even when he wants to throw a fastball, you may see him throw a few more breaking balls because of the Cubs' struggles. That's what it's going to be, going to become It's as simple as that, Cappy. What they're struggling with right now, Dave Roberts is going to try to get every form of that out on the mound as quickly as possible.
Well, you just got to find a way to see if you can score early. First 3 innings.
Set the tone.
Put a couple runs up on the board and hope that John Lackey brings his A stuff.
Right. That's exactly right, John. John needs to be that guy that was brought in to be the horse.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good, man.
All right. We will see you. That's right. We need some mojo. Thank you for watching Cubs Postseason Live presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. For Todd Hollingsworth, I'm David Kaplan. We're back at 6 o'clock tomorrow. STL at 5:30. You have a good night. Get some sleep. We'll see you tomorrow.